Another aspect of PPP that we need to be responsible for, as has been mentioned in earlier lessons, is PPP over frame. Let's have Marvin Greenlee walk us through this configuration at the command line.
Here we have an existing frame relay configuration that we're going to migrate to PPP over frame. So currently on router 4, we have a subinterface, serial 0/0/0.1 as a point-to-point subinterface, and that connects off to router 5. The subinterface on router 5, having the address 155.20.05, router 4 with the address 155.20.0.4. So we're going to go ahead and just verify that we do have the DELC connectivity, 504 on router 5 connecting through to 405 on router 4. And we do have DELC connectivity there. We're going to go ahead and remove that address from both sides, as well as removing that interface DELC. And same on router 4, just removing off that information. Now with the PPP over frame configuration, adding in the PPP encapsulation on top of frame relay. So having a separate logical layer, in this case that being done through the use of virtual templates. So go ahead and just create a virtual template. We'll just say virtual template 4 on router 4. And for that virtual template, going to assign it an IP address. So our virtual template has an address. Now the virtual template default encapsulation type is PPP, so we don't have to set the encapsulation. And next on our serial interface, all we have to do is specify for that DELC that we want to use this virtual template. We're just going to go ahead and do that on the main interface. The frame relay interface DELC command, and the DELC on router 4 is 405. And looking at our options here, if we're just doing interface DELC like a subinterface on the point-to-point, it would just be that command by itself. In this case, we want to do PPP, supporting that PPP over frame relay. And then we have the reference for our virtual template. Now the virtual access was cloned from that virtual template information, and we have a virtual access interface showing as up. Similar configuration on router 5. Starting off, creating a virtual template. The virtual template number itself just locally significant, so I can use something else on router 5. Just do template 5 on router 5. And on router 5, the DELC is 504 connecting through to 405. And my virtual template number 5. And we have virtual access interface there cloned. And verify that we can connect across. Able to ping across to the other side. So successfully able to connect through. And looking at address sending information, in this case having that virtual template is showing as down down, but it does show that the virtual access being cloned from that, and the virtual template is showing as an up interface, and that traffic being passed across the frame relay cloud with that PPP encapsulation. Now in this case, one other thing to be aware of that some people tend to get confused about, even though I can ping the remote side, I'm not able to ping my own address because of the way of how that's handled. And there are some other ways around that. One of those getting into using multi-link and having the multi-link interface, but just with a virtual template on a basic PPP over frame example, not able to ping your own interface. So you're trying to ping every interface, you're going to have issues pinging your own interface. So just something else to be aware of. And just pull back our configuration here. So on router 5, having a virtual template configured. And then on the serial interface, encapsulation frame relay tying that virtual template into a specific DLC. And similar configuration on router 4. We'll just pull that one up as well. So having a virtual template defined, and then having the serial interface with the interface DLC bound into that particular virtual template. Now, because it is PPP, you do have the other items you can add in. You can add in multi-link, you can add in other authentication. Doing authentication, for example, have your PPP authentication commands would be configured under your virtual template. If you need to have username and passwords configured to validate the remote endpoint, that would be configured globally. If you're having your credentials for what you're passing through, that would also be configured on the virtual template.